Alright, so as you guys can see, we are warming up into our max effort movement for today. Today is max effort upper body, and we're going to be doing a slingshot bench press for the variation, standard competition with grip. I'm not going to be going close grip or wide grip, anything like that. But you may have noticed with the first two warm-up sets with approximately, 45 kg and about 70 kg, I didn't use the slingshot. And the reason for that is because I can't, without enough weight on the bar, I physically can't get the bar unless I'm extremely, like almost doing a row. I can't get the bar to touch my chest. Even with the 70 kg, as you guys saw with that third set, I could barely get it to touch my chest. I literally was having to pull the bar down after about maybe like halfway through the range of motion. So in order to actually be able to feel the weight and start feeling the movement, I actually have to have close to 200 pounds on the bar. And if you guys haven't seen these before, I'm using a slingshot from Mark Bell, and this is actually one of the really old versions. It actually still says on it howmuchyoubench.net, which is like 3 or 4 years old now. I think the website now is Mark Bell or MB Slingshot, something like that, .com. So this is a really old one, back from like first generation kind of thing. Same thing with these wrist wraps, the gangster wrist wraps. But this is an extremely amazing tool for doing overload work. It's similar to, say, reverse band bench press or reverse band presses. However, the nice thing is at lockout, it can be difficult with reverse bands to set it up to where you don't have any weight being removed from the bar. Versus with slingshot, essentially once you get to about 3/4 of the way through the rep, you've got the entire weight of the bar in your hands. You're no longer getting assistance from this guy. So it's a great overload tool, and it's extremely versatile as well. You can use it for incline bench press, you can use it for flat bench press as I'm using here, dumbbells, it's even great for push-ups, everything. And they're actually not too expensive. I think it's like 30-40 bucks, and I've had this one for 5 years, something like that now, 4 or 5 years. And this thing, when I first got it, it took my bench and increased it by like 20-30 pounds just from starting to incorporate this over the course of about 3-4 months. So definitely worth the investment. If you guys don't have one already, I would highly recommend picking one up. I'll put a link to it down below in the description so you can check them out. They've got a bunch of different material types based on how much you bench press. So for example, if you have a bench that's 400 plus pounds, I believe they have a black one that's like for basically the different types of material means that it's harder to stretch it. So if I were to use like the thickest one that they have, I probably wouldn't be able to even get it to start to flex or bend until I loaded like 300 pounds on the bar. So something to look at. If you guys are interested, like I said, I'll leave a link below in the description for you guys to check it out. But I'm gonna move on. We're gonna be working up to a 1 rep max today with this guy, and let's get going. Alright, just finished up the first working set for today's max effort movement. Hit 140 kg or about 309 pounds, give or take half a pound. And my goal is to hit at least 3, if not 4 singles at that kind of maximum effort, like 90-95% of my 1 rep max. So that's going to be my goal. I've jumped up 2¼ kg or about 314 pounds now. Gonna hit another single, gonna jump up another like 2¼ after that to like around 319, maybe 320-ish, and then hit another single and see how I feel from there, whether or not I think I can or if I want to go up any further. Or I might just hit that for a 4th set. We'll see how I feel, but that's going to be the goal for today's maximum effort movement. Then after this, we're going to move into the supplemental and accessories in order to finish out the workout. So let's hit this and keep going. you guys might have noticed that I jumped straight from 140 to 145, and I was saying I was gonna do 142.5. Well, of course, I forgot to hit record, did 142.5, went up pretty damn easy, was actually a lot easier than even 140 felt, and forgot to hit record. So here's what it is. I didn't want to redo the set just for recording purposes. Jumped up to 145 on the next set, and as you guys just saw, was a bit of a grinder. Definitely hitting that sticking point that I'm consistently hitting right there, that kind of one spot about maybe halfway up on my on the positive portion of the rep, about halfway up I hit that sticking spot. That's kind of my main weak point of the bench. So hit that, had to grind it out, but locked it out pretty easily. So that is the maximum I'm going to go today, or the highest, my top set, 145, or approximately 320 pounds. So we'll just kind of, I like to keep track of all my lifts here, my 1 rep maxes, 3 rep maxes, things like that. Mainly just 1 rep maxes, so I'll just write this down on here, slingshot. So this is just nice to keep track of my lifts, so at a glance I can see, okay, if I redo a specific variation or a specific movement, what did I hit last time for 1 rep max? What did I hit last time for 3 rep max? And then you guys may have seen this kind of in my last training log. I pretty much filled up this side of the board. My wife's doing the same thing on the other side here. And once I kind of fill this up, snap a picture of it, erase it, start over. If I need to see what I hit previously, I just go to my phone. Works really well for keeping track of progress. I'm also writing down in a logbook everything I'm doing for the day, all my lifts, variations, weight for my main movement and my supplemental movements. Not so much for my kind of bodybuilding and hypertrophy stuff after that, my accessory movements, but mainly for my primary movements and my supplemental work, writing down and tracking my weight from week to week, as well as my reps for what I'm doing for my supplemental stuff. So that's gonna be the main movement for today's workout. Now I'm gonna move into all my supplemental and accessory exercises. Oh, we're getting there, about halfway through the workout today, so stick with me and let's finish it strong. All right, so supplemental movement for today's workout is going to be JM presses with the SSB, or the safety squat bar. If you guys don't have an SSB, you can use standard barbell, you can use an easy bar, or you can do a variation such as skull crushers or dumbbell skull crushers, things like that. We're just trying to target the triceps to focus on working that weak point. If our tricep and our pressing strength goes up, so will our bench. So with this, gonna be working for 4 sets of 6 to 8 reps, and the weight is gonna be pretty heavy. So whatever movement or variation you decide to do, the goal is to be hitting, or basically just staying 1 rep shy of failure for that 6 to 8 rep range. So I'm gonna hit my final set here. I've already done 3, and then I'm gonna move into my accessory movements to finish off the workout. Now, after completing the supplemental movement for today, I'm moving into more hypertrophy-based assistance and accessory movements, starting off with a close grip incline bench press. Now with this one, I'm gonna be keeping the weight pretty light, focusing more on volume. So I'm hitting around 12 to 15 reps, about 30-second rest for 3 total sets. Again, close grip with this one, we're really trying to target the triceps and that upper chest. For me, this is treated more as a bodybuilding movement as opposed to strength, and that's the reason I'm doing the higher volume and focusing more on the pump. So that's the whole point of this, is trying to get some extra hypertrophy so that our chest looks a little bit better. Now, after that, moved into some weighted pull-ups. These ones are gonna be pretty heavy. Pull-ups, I definitely find that I progress better when I add some weight as opposed to doing just straight body weight. So using a kettlebell and my belt squat belt, I'm just throwing on like 26 pounds, did around 6 to 8 reps for 3 to 4 sets. I think I hit 3 sets with that weight before I had to drop it down to like 18 pounds was my next smallest kettlebell. And I did another 6 to 8 reps, so 4 total sets of 6 to 8 reps. Now with this one, if you can't use additional weight, go body weight and just go to failure for 4 total sets. Again, this is supposed to be a lot heavier, focusing a little bit more on strength. After that, I moved into a superset for back, which was an incline neutral grip row superset with cable pullovers. Now with this, I'm using the mag grip or maximum advantage grips, the neutral grip attachment that's the medium grip, not the full wide, but the one that's in between, neutral hand position. And I'm at an incline of about 30 to 45 degrees, and I'm focusing on trying to squeeze and contract the lower portion of my lat, so developing that lower to mid back. For this one, again, kind of 12 to 15 reps, focusing on that pump and volume as opposed to just straight power and strength, so a little bit more hypertrophy. And I superset that with the cable pullovers. Unfortunately, my cable machine is a little bit too high or a little bit too low, so I'm not able to do this movement standing. So I had to drop down to my knees in order to perform this. Again, same thing, around 8, 12, 15 reps, focusing more on feel and pump as opposed to just straight strength and hitting numbers. Now, one thing you might notice with this is kind of how my body is moving throughout the range of motion. So as my hands are coming up, my chest and my torso are dropping back and sinking into the stretch, versus as I'm pulling and contracting through the range of motion, I'm driving my chest forward and up in order to further maximize the range of motion and the contraction at the peak. This is just a way to kind of increase the intensity, increase the amount of blood flow, and basically increase the muscle activation for this movement. So with this one, hit 3 sets of, again, that kind of 8, 12, 15 reps per set, focusing strictly on pump and how I felt. After this, I finished off the workout with a giant set composed of dumbbell lateral raises, a cable wide grip upright row, and some hammer curls. Now, a few notes on this. With the dumbbell lateral raises, I did 3 different hand positions on the dumbbells. So if you notice, if you pay attention to my grip, I'm starting by going all the way down, grabbing all the way down at the base of the grips of the handles of the dumbbells. I hit 5 reps, controlled, slow, focusing on my form and the contraction. After those 5, I move my grip to the center of the dumbbells, perform another 5, and then I move my grip all the way to the top, choking up on them with a slight lean forward in order to target a little bit more my rear delts and my lateral head. So 3 different hand positions, 5 reps each. Again, focusing on the contraction and the feel, trying to target my entire shoulder and just push as much blood as possible into the muscle before I moved into some upright rows on the cables. So with this one, I just took a standard lat pull down bar, grabbed right about at the bend of the bar and did some upright rows with it. Again, focusing on that lateral head of the delt, really trying to get as wide and as full as possible. And then I finished it off with some dumbbell hammer curls. On the hammer curls, you'll notice that I'm grabbing all the way at the base of the dumbbells, just like when I started on the lateral raises. And what this is going to do is it's going to cause you to focus and emphasize a little bit more on the contraction. It's going to make the movement a little bit harder and basically make you work a little bit more. So with all these movements, I did 3 total circuits, and I tried to hit around 12 to 15 reps per exercise, keeping the rest period from circuit to circuit around 30 to 45 seconds. So really just focusing on more volume training, hypertrophy based, trying to pump the muscles up as much as possible and burn everything out to finish the workout strong. And that is going to be it for today's video. This was day 2 of week 1, the maximum effort upper body day of this 12-week conjugate based training program that I'm currently running. If you guys are interested in following along with me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to be notified, because I'm going to be uploading a video for every single workout throughout this 12-week program. I'm also going to be trying to keep the schedule of uploads in line with the program itself, so you guys can stay up to date and follow along with it in real time. So like I said, if you guys want to follow along, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you can be notified when a new workout drops. But overall, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. It definitely helps out, helps show your support for the channel. And as always, I hope you guys learned something. Hopefully you've taken something away, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.